Theme song for the Gear Podcast. We're back again, Uncle Leon, after a short 2-week break this time. How are you feeling, my brother?
Refreshed, feeling great. I have been in good health and good spirits, my friend. What about you?
Oh, the opposite of that, but that's all right. Hey, you and me, we're brothers now. We're part of a very small club, a very small community of those who have played on top of Optus Stadium for like 60,000 people. How are you feeling about that? That's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. I think I'll process it all at some point in the rest of my life, but it was a very surreal experience in the true meaning of that. And, you know, there was like a baseline level intensity to it where it never got as intense as some gigs I've done. You know, I feel like going out and doing like a ragdoll indie bar gig, the intensity is definitely higher than that at some points. However, you get little peaks and the main level of intensity is much lower. This just kind of like sat in third gear, you know. In the words of Todd Johnson, it just went straight into third and it just stayed there and kept level. Yep. So, and then bam, you know, it was great, man. It was really good to, you know, do it with Ryan as well. And he had a great time, as people who have seen the video can probably tell. So, it's just like, as I'm sure you're, you know, well experienced with, you know, you get up there, you're 45 meters up in the air and it's just like, the baseline animal instinct, the lizard part of the brain is just on. Like, it's just like, this is not good. You're not meant to do this. What are you doing? So, yeah, I feel like had I tried to do that gig 15 years ago, it would have been very different. I'm grateful for all the experience I had leading up to it, where it was actually quite really nice experience. The crew and everything like that were really relaxed and professional about it. And, you know, I got to watch the start of the Ashes from the top of the stadium and watch England get pumped, as we all love.
Oh, the best part. Shout out to all of our listeners in the UC. Well, in England, really, but still in the UC. That was pretty good. I mean, I told you before we jumped on this, like, I watched the game for the first time in my life, watched a game of cricket, or really I just watched the 4th innings. And fuck, that was good. Like, it was. I'm into it now. I think it'll be the summer of cricket for old Troy Nababan.
You know what we need to do is go and see a T20 game.
Yeah, we could do that.
Because tests are one thing.
Yeah. Which one is that? Is that when they just bash shit, or is that Big Bash?
It's just basically, that 4th innings was basically a T20 game where they just went out and they just smacked the ball around. Yeah. So, yeah, Big Bash, the old Perth Scorchers. And the Scorchers are like, they're the West Coast Eagles of the comp. They've just been very successful for a long time. And they were really bad last year. Yeah, not the Eagles right now. See, we had to get some footy in on there.
Yep. No, I was going to say the thing about those stadium gigs, it's I think I've told you before, I think I've said it on this, but like, the thing that you don't count on is you got that gig like 6 weeks ago or a month ago or something. So there's like, you got all this time leading up to it. You go in the day before, you do a sound check, you get to the stadium probably 3 hours before you have to play. You do a sound check, then you're waiting around, you're up there strapped in like half an hour before you've got to play. And then you walk out and you play, you do 2 minutes of work. Yeah. And it all culminates in 2 minutes. And then once that 2 minutes is over, literally that's it. And all of the anticipation, you just like, it's too short. Like, particularly when you're used to doing like a 45-minute gig, it's like, I have energy. I've got more to give, but nowhere to put that energy now. Like, I used to come off those gigs being like really, really amped up and really wired, because I had to get myself up to kind of do it. And that feeling is really strange. So, I'm not sure if that's how you felt, at least, but it feels
when I did this, when I did the soccer, that was at least 4 minutes, a break, and then 3 minutes. So I feel like I got slightly more in, whereas this was just kind of like, wait. And then I'm really glad with the track that I put together, I put a slow 1-2 count at the start, because we're just up there like, the anthem's on, and then you just hear like in our ears like, tss, tss. So and I was really happy with the little arrangement that I did for a few songs. So it It was, thank the very clever people who have come up with stem separation for some of the songs. That made making certain backing tracks a lot easier. And then for some of the tunes in there, like we did Waltzing Matilda and Jerusalem, I just programmed it the way I would program a demo with like some slate drums and, just went ham, like put guitar harmonies on it and stuff like that. So I was saying to someone from Cricket Australia, they were saying, oh, you put the track together really quickly. And I was like, all I was thinking about was, I don't know if you remember this as a kid, if this is something you watched, but I think it was like the Queen's Silver Jubilee or something.
I don't remember.
It was this big, some British royal family thing, but it started with Brian May on top of a building playing, like God Save the Queen. So I was just like, what would Brian May do? He would have a backing track with heaps of guitar harmonies and layers. So that's what we did.
Yep.
Harmonies like Queen.
All right. Well, on that note, mate, let's segue into the next part of our
what a scintillating couple of weeks for gear it's been.
What a scintillating week, mate, because things have been happening as we record this on, what is it, the 27th of November. Mate, Christmas is right around the corner.
It's just around the corner, mate.
Right before it. So should we let's start at the start. Let's talk about the most important company that there is, which is Fractal Audio. Let's talk about their new product, mate. You want to do that? We'll talk about Fractal.
Let's do this. Little big, as we like to call it. Well, no one likes to call it that, but yeah, the AM4. So
look at that.
They could have just put the amp and cab block in a box and people would have been able to do that, but they stuck a whole bunch of effects as well. So yeah, it's awesome. I'm glad I can talk about this now that it's out in the wild.
Yeah.
And,
I actually thought it just was the amp and cab. You may have mentioned something to me a little while ago, and when I saw that they put the reverbs and delays in, I was like, oh, well, that's kind of it then. Really, it's what else?
Yeah, well, you've basically the only things you don't have from the other products are the pitch block, the Plex and multi-tap delay, the synth, and I think the ring mod and maybe the formant. So you've got compression, drive, all the EQs, all the chorus, flanger, phaser, rotary, tremolo, delay, reverb. Like the other thing as well is you can run like the ultra high quality reverb, a delay, an amp with 2 Dynacabs in it and a drive, all with 4 channels, and basically always be able to do that. You don't have any like CPU issues like the FM3 can. The reverb block's really thirsty on the FM3, so sort of a point of difference there.
Now, I haven't looked into this that much, to be honest. Like I saw everyone's got a video out and, I was kind of like, I bet I know what this is about and the price looks pretty good, but I'll come to that eventually. Is it 4 blocks? Only 4 blocks?
4 blocks per preset, 4 channels per block, but then you also have, like, there's always an input gate, there's always a global EQ, there's always, the amp and cab are the same block. I think that's the big change. So it's not like a separate amp and separate cab, and that's 2 blocks. So amp and cab are integrated. There's like a room simulation in the cab. There's an EQ. There's a dedicated output boost and input boost on the amp. You can do quite a lot. If you want tremolo, the amp block has a bias tremolo built into it that you can set up on certain scenes. So the delay, obviously you could use as a chorus on one channel if you wanted to. The reverb has delay and reverb baked into it. So yeah, there's like a lot of, most of their stuff, there's a lot of multi-function stuff that you can hack and make work, but it's also, there's gapless switching. So, let's say you had your main amp, like you had a JCM800 set up on the amp block and you just had preset 1, 2, 3, 4. Like preset 1 is drive, phaser, amp, delay. Preset 2 is compressor, flanger, amp, reverb. You can sort of bring other blocks in that way and be clever about it.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I just got finished shooting a video about all the frequently asked questions, and that's like the big one. Like, there's only 4 blocks, but they're not. They are very. It's like having a pedal board with 4 slots on it, but then you've got a really big pedal collection that you can bring in at any one time. So I should have said that in the video. That makes heaps more sense. So yeah, it's good. I mean, I think a lot of people just wanted a small box with their amp modeling in it. The fact that you get that plus a whole bunch of effects, I think is pretty good. In the US anyway, it's the same price as 2 of those UA pedals.
That's crazy, man. Like, that's very, very good. Like, I mean, that's all I ever use at a gig is exactly what you just said. So I was pretty, like, I probably should just go get one. I mean, it's just, I feel like I've got a lot of solutions in that same size at the moment. So it's really not something I probably need to jump out and get in a hurry. But man, like, it looks fucking wicked. It looks really wicked. What's the deal with, has it got an effects loop on it?
It has an insert at the end of the chain. So
okay.
I think the thinking there is, you know, if you had like some analog pedals in front of it, and then say you had, I don't know, a Boss delay pedal that you wanted to use in the loop at the end of the chain, you'd put it in the loop, but then the outputs on the AM4 are balanced. So you're not like running balanced out into an unbalanced pedal and then needing a DI box or something. So yeah, I think it's basically an easy way to integrate the VP4. That's probably the most common use case. But there's also digital in and out, so you could run that straight into the VP4 with no extra latency if you wanted to.
It's got MIDI on it, right?
Yeah, TRS MIDI and USB MIDI as well.
Okay. So, I mean, like, when did you get this? It's all right to ask, when did you get the pedal, like, in your hot little hands?
I've had it for a couple of months. I got it when it was pretty, like, being a beta tester, as we like to say down here. Probably, man, before I went to Europe. Okay. So yeah, quite a while. There's been a lot that's gone into it development wise, and it was obviously a cool thing to sort of be like, hey, this is what I think sucks. This is what I think could be better. This is what would be really handy. And most of the stuff, it feels super chunky firmware wise already. You know, they've got all the effects that are in there are up to date with the Axe 3.
Right. Well, I guess my question is, like, with the VP4, I mean, that's been out for a little while now, but, like, you know, there's an insert point on the it's AM4, right? That's what it's called?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So has it been made with, like, those two pedals in mind? Like, you know, if you wanted to just get those two pedals to have the smallest possible fractal thing, like, is it kind of like really, is there like any other special integration between the two products to make them talk to each other, or?
That's a good question. Yeah, they have this thing called Scene Sync. So
okay.
Yeah, it does all the MIDI CC numbers for you with the scenes. Right. So I put a video up today where you've got, you know, like that FM series in the Axe 3 has 8 scenes per preset. But I think the way I'd use this is, like, say you had scene 1, 2, 3, and 4 are basically changing amp sounds. Or say you had, I don't know, a clean deluxe reverb, an AC30 with a boost, a JCM800 with a phaser, and a 5150 with a mono delay. You'd run that into the VP4, and you could switch your 4 scenes and have the VP4 change its scenes. But leave the VP4 in its effects layout where you can toggle effects on and off. So it'd sort of be like, gotcha. You know, you have clean rig, crunch rig, dirty rig, filth rig, and then bring different things in on the VP4. So it's kind of like
still
a
is like a
mode.
stomp box, a stomp box mode on the. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And I've got a big pedal board where it's like have them on 2 tiers. You have the VP4 up here and the AM4 down here. It's kind of like the AX8. You know, 8-foot switches. Yeah.
I mean, that's how I used to run the AX8, to be honest. Yep. And actually, to be more honest, I have 3 buttons that I used on the AX8. There was 4 really that I could have used, but I never really liked the clean sound that I programmed in. So I just used I had dirty sound and then more dirty sound. Actually, I only ever used 2 buttons. That's all. And then in the presets, it was basically like a boost in front of a dirty amp with some delay and reverb on the end. So really what you're telling me is that, like, now there's a product that's like smaller than an AX8 that is brand new and has all the new sounds in it. Like,
yeah. It is quite small.
Go buy one.
Tondi, it's the Fractal for you. Like, so there's a size comparison.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's quite a lot smaller.
Like, I remember when the FM3 came out, I was like really like, fuck yeah, this is going to be wicked. 3 buttons. I can probably do all I need with that. But the actual girth of the unit was a thing that I was like, I don't think I can get this on a board. And let alone the extra little bit of depth there. So yeah, man, that's pretty cool. Like I might have to check that out. It's so frustrating. Like, right, this is like the definition of first world problems, mate. Like, there's so many products right now that tick exactly what I want, and I have one already in the HX Stomp. I have one already in the Tone X1, and then I have one already in the IRX as well. So it's like, what more do you want? Like, how many of the same devices do I need to do the exact same thing? Like, I don't have enough gigs to justify having all these things, but they all sound so good, and it's all so fun. Like,
I feel like that would be perfect for your Dockers gig, because single amp, put a delay and a reverb at the end, put a boost or something at the front, and like you're cooking. So we actually, for the circle back around the stadium gig, we ran both guitars through the same FM9. So your mate David there was like, "This is just a single box doing everything. That's great." It's like, it's you just, and it was the simplest like amp cab delay for both of them. So it was pretty bare bones, but it was cool having like consistent levels and tones out of the one box.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into this, man. I might like. So I don't want to change the subject too much, but like, I put a video out on my YouTube channel, which, by the way, everybody, go check out Hammerspace Recording, the YouTube channel. I probably will be late uploading a video today because I'm going to shoot one after we finish up with this. But and also I pretty much doubled my subscribers after the last podcast that we did. So I appreciate those of you that came over after watching that video. But I put a video out last week about my looping pedal board, using like the HX Stomp and the Morningstar and the RC500. And that was really fun because I've been using that rig for like 4 years now, but I'm like a little bit bored of it.
Right.
And it's sort of like, I just need to change something up. And maybe that's just programming some different sounds in the HX Stomp. Maybe it's like, I've got this, again, not to segue too much, but I bought this, as you know, the little Graviton, what was it called? Luminite Graviton.
Graviton, yeah.
Graviton M1. So it's a little MIDI controller with a touchscreen on it. And I got the, this wireless foot controller is also amazing. Like, very cool. And it's also got this like little wireless knobby thing that I showed you before. But so I could like just integrate that into my whole rig and do some stuff with that, because that would be kind of cool. But maybe really what I need to do is just go buy myself an AM4 and have a bit of a play with that for a bit. Maybe that'll make all of my pain go away. Sometimes you just buy stuff to make the pain go away.
Oh, mate, is there any other reason to buy stuff?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's just... What else are you going to do with your life, mate?
I've been watching The Sopranos, and there's an episode in season 2 where like his son, is getting into philosophy. So, they're like, what's all this thing? God is dead. And he's like, yeah, life is just choosing between suffering and boredom. And I love that quote, right? That's just the music technology industry to a T. Yep. So yeah, I think it's awesome, man, for the stuff we like, for the sort of sounds we like. It's, you've had plenty of experience with the Fractal stuff where it's like, it's just very, it can be as jackhammer or as non-jackhammer as you like.
The unfortunate thing is like, I just, it's partly because I'm so used to it, but like the tone that I programmed in my AX8 8 years ago, however long it was.
It's the one.
I'm so comfortable with it. Like it's not like I dislike playing any of these other devices, and everything's cool, but like I'm so comfortable with it. I never think about the fact I'm playing a modeler with it. I just like play guitar. So like, and you stomp on the thing and it does the thing, and yeah.
Well, here's a hot take for all the people out there. The term modeler, it is the de facto term that we talk about so many different types of product, where, what it really is it's a preamp. It's a preamp.
Mm-hmm.
It's amp modeler to me, I think lulls a lot of people into this thing that it's like a replacement for a real amplifier, which it's not. You still need an amplifier. So it's a preamplifier and multi-effects. And I think that distinction people forget, where it's like, okay, if the amplifier is still a guitar amplifier in a cabinet, you do one thing with it. If the amplifier is a like line array PA, you're obviously going to approach it differently. Anyway, so there's just words kind of matter sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I mean, I thought you were going to talk about something else, because like to me, a Fractal is an amp modeler and a Line 6 is an amp modeler, whereas a Kemper is not a modeler. It's like it's a profiler, right?
They're still using amp modeling under the hood. They just have like an automated process to,
take Tonex maybe or Neural maybe. I don't know. I don't know the specifics of these things.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Amp modeling is in component-based modeling. Yeah, I think all of these things. It's important to remember that they're pre-amplification tools at its heart, and you can get hung up on, it's modeling and it's not real. It's like, mate, it's a preamp. Like a lot of other things that are preamps. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just doing the comic book guy thing here at the moment, but I totally distracted you. So it's fine. I think it'd be a cool.
It's cool, man. Like what a time to be alive, though. I just, you need more gigs to take more stuff out. That's the problem. It's there's just too much fun to be had.
Yeah, just play all the rigs all the time. I mean, that's what Vernon Reid does, right? He's just got one of everything, and he has a fat time with it. Have you been keeping up with?
Before we move on, I just want to. So, quick question. So, you got the FM3, you got the AM4. So, what are you doing gig wise? Are you gonna just stay on the 3 because you're used to it? Is there anything about the 4 that's going to make you just change to that in the near future, or you just happy? Well,
it fits in the front of my guitar bag, so that's kind of cool. It doesn't have a pitch block, so it doesn't have micro pitch, which when I play in stereo I really like. But
just don't play in stereo.
Just don't play in stereo, Leon, you giant dork. Yeah, the Dimension Chorus does that. There's an enhancer block in there, so yeah, I want to do a few gigs with it, literally just for the thrill of having something so small. And there's a lot to be said for having a really simple preset. I think sometimes you can get too funky. I think for
Mate, is that
gigs,
your washing machine beeping in the background?
Of course it's my washing machine. Of course it's a Samsung doing the Samsung washing machine.
Give him a shout out. Give him a shout out, and we'll tag him in this, and they can. What song is it that they do? Do you know?
I think it's just
We Wish You a Merry Christmas. It sounded a bit like that.
It sounded a bit like that, didn't it? Yeah, I just know it as Washing's Done theme.
And how are those? How is the Samsung
SK?
Yeah, a great washing machine. Very recommended. Not sponsored.
not sponsored, but would recommend. It's great.
Good to know.
Yeah, they're one of the most important things in this household. Obviously, being full of hairy people and animals.
You got a dryer in your house?
Yeah, mate. You got a dryer? Yes. Yeah,
mate, I'm not allowed to get one.
Mate,
Here's two things. Sorry to derail everything, but this is what you get for a free podcast, everybody. We're not getting a dryer in my house because we live in a climate that doesn't require it 10 months of the year. That's the reasoning behind that. Despite the fact that the 2 months of the year we do not need it, it's a fucking nightmare. Not allowed to have that. Not allowed to have a TV in the bedroom. Those are the rules of the house that I don't set, but the lady in charge does. So anyway, what was this? What was I talking about?
Look,
first world problems.
I can agree with 50% of that. I feel like the TV in the bedroom thing, I can get on board with that, where it's like, yeah, just go to the bedroom, to sleep and do whatever else you need to do. Have a dedicated room. But having said that, it's pretty comfortable watching TV in bed. So
yeah,
don't have a TV in the bedroom, but sit on your phone in the bedroom, right? So,
and really, what's the difference? If you're going to sit up fucking watching something on your phone, watch it on a TV. But anyway, that's fine. Like,
having said that, I'll go back to the dryer is the greatest thing ever. I'm so happy we got one, and it is such a quality of life improvement. Because mate, sometimes you go to in 2 hours you got to go and do a gig on top of the stadium or something. You notice you got, maybe, in the words of Phil Lynott, some chocolate stains on your pants. Mate, you just chuck them in for 15 minutes for a quick wash, then bung them in the dryer, and like 45 minutes to an hour later, you've got crispy, fresh, warm pants.
I'll tell you something for nothing, mate. I bought 5 new crisp black T-shirts from Kmart 2 weeks ago.
Love it.
And I spilt water all down the front of one of them. And guess what? That did not like leak into that t-shirt whatsoever. That t-shirt was completely water resistant.
Wow.
Which I don't know if that's a feature of the t-shirt, but I'm telling you, it was completely dry. Just water just straight off it. So a little hop tip from me. Anyway, I digress, mate. Sorry about the little tangent, but it's important to talk about these things sometimes and, trauma dump on one another about the things we can't have in our lives.
Exactly.
Continue. What were we talking about? We're talking about
I was just going to say,
fractals.
yeah, we're talking about the AM4, which I feel like we've kind of covered a lot of. There's other stuff. I mean, the Helix Stadium is like, you can buy one in certain localities in the world, and there's been a lot of stuff up there. Have you done any listening, any checking out of the features and stuff like? Because you went to the sort of private demo they had, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we spoke about that a few weeks ago, so a few months ago, whenever it happened. So, I heard it in person, and I thought it sounded really good, but I didn't play it. But I believe I said at the time when we spoke about that, I don't really care how it sounds because it's going to sound fine because the HX Stomp, which by the way, it's all plugged in at the moment. I used it today. It sounds great. So if it sounds better, cool. But that's probably not the thing that's going to make me buy it. The thing that's going to make me buy one or consider one is the features that it has that other products don't have.
Yes.
And what I did find really interesting is I watched the video from from Line 6, like one of the developers or the... I will say...
Man, their videos they've been doing are very, very good.
They've been like super transparent about everything about the release of it, which is kind of surprising. And so I thought it was interesting because he said that it launches with a bunch of stuff, and then at this date, like a month later, is when all this showcase stuff is supposed to launch, and that's more the stuff that I was interested in.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought it would be more of a maybe next year, maybe in 2 years' time, but that side of the product would kind of be available. But it sounds like it's all moving pretty quick. And then I think they said in 3 or 4 months' time there'll be even more features dropping. So yeah, I sort of I'm not as excited right now. I'll wait till it gets out and into the real world and people have some experiences with it before I sort of consider adding it to the shopping list. And it is really expensive. So yeah, look, in the interest of what I said before, like being bored with what I'm using at the moment, having something like that would be fun as a gimmick and might make me inspired is the wrong word, but like, not miserable to play the same set like every week like I have to do. So that might be kind of fun. But I enjoy like I said in my YouTube video about my looping rig, which you can all go watch anytime that you like, by the way. You can stop this video and go give that a little click.
Exactly. That was a really good video.
Thank you. But the connecting of things and getting all to talk to each other and working out a workflow that's consistent, blah, blah, blah. Like that I find quite interesting. And I just for my own sanity, that might be a reason to check that out. So, but I don't know. Have you watched much stuff on it? Have you like listened to the clips and?
Yeah. I've listened to quite a few clips and just, it's been cool to see everybody's different take on it. And it's interesting, right? Where, I mean, a big question that's come up is like, well, say in the Fractal universe, why should you get an AM4 rather than an FM3 or an FM9? I think, and we sort of mentioned this, that like the Helix Stadium, I think it's this sort of new tier of product where it's a workstation, again, comparable to, I don't know, what is it, like a called Kronos or a Triton or something, where you just have...
that's the best way of thinking about it. Yeah, it's all there for you.
Yeah, if you just need one box to show up somewhere and do stuff, then that's going to do it, right? And I think, for, again, there's going to vary in different places. Like, say, if you were living in London and you were a guitar player, you're going to be doing probably a lot of like theater gigs. You're going to be doing a lot of like backing up singer-songwriters. You need a really flexible all-in-one thing that you can jump on the tube and travel with, right? So something like that would be perfect because you just have, I don't know, your in-ears, double guitar bag, your Helix Stadium, and you often like you can do any gig and it's portable and super powerful and it's going to sound great and be really easy to program on there. I think the touchscreen, that's the thing where it's like they really, really look like they've nailed that aspect of it. It looks very nice to work with. And from what I understand the specs of it, it's a very nice screen as well on there. So it should be pretty durable. Yeah, so all that kind of stuff. And again, if you were someone doing an acoustic gig one day and an electric gig the next day, you've got all that I/O stuff in there, for obviously like in Perth, the big thing is doing duo gigs or looping gigs like we were talking about. So I can totally see like, I feel like it's something that could probably replace your pedal board at some point, where
I think so too,
you could have backing tracks and drum loops pre-programmed into Showcase when it's up. You could have your electric acoustic chain in there that you can freely swap between, and just like if you want to tweak something at the gig, just bend down, use a touch screen, do a few things like that. So yeah, that, probably use the MIDI outputs. I don't know if you want to trigger lighting or some shit like that. So being able to have all of that in one box, I think is going to be the main selling point, where it's a workstation.
Yeah. I mean, like it's like the Ableton thing, having that as something that's portable and doesn't require a computer. If it's all there, like, I mean, the backing track thing is one thing in and of itself. Like, the reason that I never went that route to do the looping thing is because I didn't want to have to take a computer to leave on stage that someone could take if I just, left stage for a little bit. And then having all the cables associated to plug stuff in and the stands to put stuff on, like, if everything is in a floorboard and it's super convenient to operate. Or I don't know what they've done with the app side, because like I'm pretty certain there is like a phone app or an iPad app or something. But if there's an app that allows you to run certain features of like presets or scenes or whatever that can be triggered just by pressing it, like I hope they have that involved as well. So you're not just like tap dancing to get stuff up. It solves so many problems, because like putting a phone on a mic stand or an iPad on a mic stand is like way easier and better than bringing a whole laptop, which is heavy and can fall off, So yeah, it's pretty kind of it's interesting. Like you said, if it's a workstation, if that's how you approach using it and how they've approached designing it, it's got a really important place that the Fractal stuff doesn't have. If you want to, if you're part of a touring rig and you just want to have the best sounds available and have everything talk to each other and talk to multiple things, but you don't need any of the extra shit on it, like Stylenax Vex 3 is probably your best bet, But at the end of the day, everything's good these days. Everything's going to sound good. It's just what set of features is most useful for you at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's obviously differences with how these things sound, because, people program stuff differently or capture it differently or whatever. But I'm just like, at least where I'm at the moment, I'm not that precious about the sound of stuff, because at the end of the day, I can work with pretty much anything. I don't think there's been a modeler thing that I've played where I've been like, oh, this is like bad, like for a while,
Yeah.
It's not like it was with like fucking Amplitude 1 or whatever that I tried with my version of Pro Tools LE 6.8 in 2005. It's different. Like, things have changed since then. So, everything's fine, basically. So that's all I have to say about that, Uncle Leon.
Yeah. The Quad Cortex also got a very interesting update. One, they finally added micro pitch. You can just, in a single block, get dual detune. I've been asking for that since the thing came out. I was like, where the dual detune at? So, I'm sure Neural DSP really listened to me about that one. But
they all had a meeting about what Uncle Leon wanted in his Quad Cortex.
They just want, we really need to make this guy happy, because if we can't make him happy, how are we going to make anyone else happy? And the main thing that was there in big bold letters was dual detune. So that's kind of cool. I'm just bringing up the specs at the moment. The big thing is that they've overhauled the profiling or capture tech, where you can now do cloud-based stuff like you kind of can with ToneX. So what's new in CoreOS 3.3? So they have this version 1 neural capture, which you can do like on the unit. But then there's also version 2. Instead of processing captures on the Quad Cortex itself, it uses Cortex Control and Cortex Cloud to analyze your device. And they go on about how it's better, and especially for complex fuzzers, compressors, and responsive amplifiers. So, I cannot wait to see all the ToneX, NAM, Quad Cortex V2 comparison videos that are going to come out.
Should I do one? I can do one.
Mate, do one. I would love to see that. Do some null tests, you dog.
I will say that, when was it? A couple of months ago, I did test NAM against Quad Cortex against Kemper. I didn't check it against ToneX at the time. But yeah, they all did sound different, and honestly, I think NAMM sounded the best at that point that I did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's at the end of the day, does anything really matter? They all sound fine. They all sound usable.
Yeah.
The high gain stuff, like they said with the like all the high gain and the fuzzes and stuff. Like I know that is a bit of an issue with the Kemper, and yeah, I think it's less. I think it's less of an issue with some of the other devices. But yeah, that will be interesting to I guess like try out and see how different it really is. The only thing with the NAMM is like I found the processing, like loading it into the cloud stuff, it wasn't as like easy as some of the other, like the interface, it just isn't really as
it's squid. Like you got to be a bit squid to use NAMM, right? It sounds incredible.
Yeah, they have a like a app for it, I think, but I think it's
Tone Zone something. I think there's a cloud thing as well.
Damasio?
Someone set up.
No, there's like a
Path Pro.
No, I think the way it does the cloud stuff is it uses, I don't know, Google, I don't know, servers, something. I don't know. But I think like you can still there's like an interface thing you can do on your computer, but I think it has to be a PC to operate. I think, or at least when I tried to do it, maybe I just didn't do it right, or maybe I'm getting it mixed up with something else because it was a couple months ago now. I don't know, man. I will say to sidestep that, like I did some Tonex captures last week I put a video out. You should go check out my YouTube channel, everyone.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a sale coming up, don't you, mate?
I do. I'll get to that in a second, but like I did some captures with the number 34 modded SC20.
Yes,
which
I thought they sounded
you
really
demoed
good
as well. Yeah, and the Tonex capture sounded really good. It was the first time I've really got a chance to like get into this like the new way of making profiles with the new system, and man, it's so much better and so much easier. Like just to be able to rip a profile, have them all queued up, and then just hit bang. Like I left my computer on in the background in the other room, my PC, while I was doing my other work, and then after like 2 hours, there's a bunch of profiles ready to go. It was like that was very, very good. So to get back to the Quad Cortex thing, have they made it any different? Have they changed the way you can share the profiles? Because I know that's a bit of a thing with those. Do they mention that at all in the?
I don't. I'm just having a look at the Cortex Control Capture Library Device Storage. I don't think so. I can't. And again, I haven't like read this super in here, which is like the foot switch assignments. I don't think you can freely assign those still,
right?
Which is a strange thing to me. I could go on about
how
that
many
a lot.
How many times do they mention AI in the new documentation?
Well, it's interesting, right? Where I haven't seen that phrase at all. They just use neural capture. So, they're, if anything, mate, they are very good with their branding, aren't they? So I'm interested that, they keep going on about like using this V2 to capture compressors. So it'd be interesting capturing some of your like hardware compressors, right? And seeing how they measure up on there. Heaps of, look, and one thing, people of the world, public, they've released some, this is great, to showcase the capabilities. We've added a total of 669 captures across 41 devices to the library. A whole bunch of stuff. I love that. Really kudos to them for that. 17 different amps with loads of different captures. So, you got a bunch of high gain stuff, some dumbles, there's a Freyet Pitbull in there, which is cool. Brit 2203 87, Marshall JCM800 from 1987. Now, Troy, that's probably one of those horizontal input doodads, right? And we all know the best 2203s are the vertical input ones from the late 70s and early 80s. I also saw Neural DSP put a thing up like, we've captured this legendary amplifier and released some free captures. The Marshall JCM800 2210.
Oh, no.
Mate.
I was hoping you would say that. Okay. Don't
try pass off the 2210. And this is the thing. There's also the JCM800 was a series, and then the 2203, the 2210. They're the model numbers. They refer to the circuit. Just a reminder to everybody: not all JCM800s are alike.
Yep.
Particularly the 2210.
If you like the 2205 or the 2210, 2210, what do you like? 2205, I guess they call it in 2210. If you like that amp, that's fucking awesome. I'm really happy for you. And I'm sure it's usable and there are some usable tones in there. But if you want to talk about the one that everybody likes and the classic one, it is not that one. Like, let's be just fucking crystal clear about that. So anyway, that's okay. That's what you get if you only listen to, I don't know, what high gain amps do people like that Neural do? What's some shit, Fortins and stuff? You know,
you got your
when
Fortins,
you're into that sound,
yeah.
Why would you want to know about, you know, JCM800s and stuff? They're different worlds.
It's anyway, it's actually like to their credit, I feel like this is probably the most substantial update they've ever put out, and I really look forward to trying it. Again, I feel like now it's at a point where, there's probably all the stuff I would want in there, except for the foot switching flexibility to do it. So mate, what I want you to do me a favor, make some captures with the new cloud-based thing and let me know how it is. And then when I get it back from you, I'll do some videos with it. And but you should definitely do that comparison video. Would be. There's a bunch of cool like there's an HM2 in there and a tube driver and, you know, stuff people want. This is great. This is a free update again. I feel like Quad Cortex users should be absolutely stoked with this thing. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like we'll talk about modelers and all the options out there. Like that's a great one too. Like I've used that for there's one band in particular that it was the most convenient item to use to get a good guitar sound. It sounded great. Like everything's great.
I really like the 5150 models in there, like the EL34 one or whatever it is really good. And the Lone Star is sick for everything else. So again, what a time to be alive.
Funnily enough, the guitar player, like, because I have my 5150 in there, like I captured mine. Yeah. And it sounded really good. And then he went through and he's like, oh, I like this one. And it was called LT something. So, you know, mate, you're just in there, just, you know, bad influence on the younger generations.
Just squeezing my way in there. Squeezing my way in. That's cool. So lots of wicked gear stuff coming out. I've got a few thing. We'll maybe talk about it on the next one once I've got a demo out with this thing that a good friend of ours has put together. It's something I'm really, really excited about trying out. So should be some more stuff like that. I'm sure anyone who's been watching my channel have noticed I got a bunch of really cool old rack stuff to try, like the Soldano X99 and the Morin preamps, the Kasha preamp as well. It was so shout out to my buddy Jason, who owns all that stuff and is currently selling a lot of it as well. So shameless plug for him. If you like those things, they are up for sale. It feels like kind of there's still a few pieces, you know, that I'm sure Michael Torin owns that I've still never actually had the chance to play through. So it was sort of like, I mean, there was like 15 or 16 of those Morin preamps made total. So the fact that there's 2 of them floating around in Perth is pretty awesome. And hopefully there'll be some more stuff that Jason has that I can demo. But very cool.
Especially considering where exactly it is in Perth is hilarious to me as well. So shout out to Jason because you know, he's not far from where I am, man. Like that's it just gives me so much joy knowing that there's other sickos out there that like the stuff that we like. Yeah. And exactly. you'd never know. There's little places and there's just like these amps and these guitars and, you know, it's a very good thing. It gives you a lot of hope for the future. So like, you know, sometimes it's kind of weird, like, you know, with how gear stuff has gone and there's people like you, mate, who have done these videos on this rack gear for the last like 10 years. So therefore everything is like 5 times the value of what it was in like 2015. Like you've ruined it for everybody. But there's still, it's like you're probably not going to find a vintage guitar under grandma's like bed that's been there for 50 years. But there's still a chance.
No, because Joe Bonamass has been under your grandma's bed already.
Yeah, but like, again, there's still a chance in someone's garage, like someone's uncle, they were in a band for 5 minutes in 1989 and they've just got this stuff that they got at the music store.
And they've got a Marshall JFX1.
And you know what? That would be cool to still have in the collection. I've never tried those actually. Have you ever had one of those?
I've seen one in the wild. There was one in a guitar store in New Zealand and they wanted it was a lot of money for what it is. Couldn't justify getting it as much as I was like, that's cool. I know Iron Maiden used them for a while, which is
mate,
pretty
you can
funny.
only blame yourself for these things. So And we can all blame you,
Precisely.
actually, Leon.
Precisely.
So, mate, how's that? Anything else you want to add?
I just wanted to have a chuckle about, I'm sure you've seen this stuff on social media where it's like quote out of context by celebrity guitarist about some controversial topic. And I just want to go through a few zingers. Well, I think they're funny. So this is a Jared James Nichols quote from somewhere. And again, this is just Guitar World reposting them. I have a 68 Plexi and Leslie West's old Sun amp, which Joe Bonamassa gave me. Jared James Nichols on why he still prefers Black Stars. So, I mean, it couldn't possibly be that he has a signature amp with them, right? What's another one? Here's a photo of Richie Blackmore. Richie Blackmore's band cancels all remaining tour dates. Cool. I'm sure that most people would still think Richie Blackmore's band is Rainbow and not Blackmore's Night or whatever he's doing. Yeah. Anyway, just that stuff. The Ragebait. They're just like, let's put something, and just to get people on Facebook who think that those AI posts of, I don't know, some poor starving child doing a backflip are real.
Man, I'm getting you can see so clearly now the AI like headlines and stuff.
Yeah,
that really is just getting to me. Man, just it's all why is anyone scrolling Facebook anyway at this point? At least use Instagram because the Explore page is probably more interesting. But man, it's just what a bloody waste of time. Don't use ChatGPT to write an email for you. It's not that hard.
Don't use it to dial in a guitar sound. You can do this yourself.
You don't need it. What you need is a private lesson with Leon Todd. He'll show you how to dial in a guitar sound, and then you teach a man to fish, and he eats sometimes more.
And he gets mercury poisoning because all he knows how to do is eat fish. That's just the way it is. I just want to give a few YouTube channels some shout outs because I think they do really cool things and they've put some fun videos out. So I'm going to butcher a couple of these names because they are Finnish and Swedish and things like that. But Rupe Ralhavaji, he's awesome. I think he's in a band called Brother Fire Tribe and he does some really cool 80s rack stuff. And yeah, he's just a killer player and he's got some cool stuff out with the Axe 3. Uge Welawerta, we all know him. Just pulling, again, sick tones. I saw he's got a couple of very cool comparison videos with a few amps he's done recently. There's a guy on here called Fast Red Pony Car, and I think it's him, but he just did a video with two diesel VH4s. The video is called A Stereo Pair of Diesel VH4 Sounds Insane. And indeed, it does sound insane. I don't know where he got two VH4s from, but that's amazing. So that was a very, very cool video. The other one that I want to shout out is JP Henry. Did you watch his Pull Me Under video?
No, I was about to say him, though. His stuff is the best. His stuff is as much up my alley as you possibly could get. I really would like to get him on an episode.
Yes. He just did a shootout on basically micro pitch, and I was like a man of my heart. It was so good. Yeah. So those guys are sick. Shout out to my mate Dunsy's Guitar World as well. He's in Edinburgh. We got to hang out a little bit, and he's just put out a few videos, a sort of very cheap telly parts caster thing that sounds killer as well. And another man of our heart, I believe he is in Turkey, but his channel is called Oz Guitar. And mate, he's just got some of the best lessons on basically how to play guitar like Paul Gilbert and be a mad dog.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, he's got some covers of Racer X stuff on there. What's his thing? Just a monster player. I think he's got a lesson, a scarified lesson with Bigger Tab. So it's how to actually play scarified properly. I might watch that later today and actually
me too
try and get less bad at playing that song. I always sort of get up somewhere and I'm just I tap out because I suck. So yeah, but he's absolutely destroying it on there. It's very cool.
Very cool. No, I'll watch that. I need to I need to play some more guitar. I haven't been able to do it because I've been so sick in the last week. So
yeah, could do.
Like I said, I'm gonna make a video after this, and then maybe I'll rip a couple of do one of those ones. It's a shame I've got nothing to do tonight. you know, be nice to visit some friends for some Thanksgiving dinner or something. But
imagine you could just come and eat some turkey.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's what
pies.
happens when you don't get invited to. I didn't. What did she say? Cameo from Elspeth in the background.
Her words were "Don't be shit, Tondi." So on that note, let's finish it up. Don't be shit, Tondi, and we'll see you all on the next one.
Oh, peace. Oh, and Hammer Space Recording Black Friday sales starting tomorrow. Peace. Bye.